Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way.
So I know what everyone is thinking. Why the hell am I reviewing Parasite Eve, a more obscure Squaresoft title, for Christmas? Well, that's because this game takes place on Christmas Eve, Christmas, and the ensuing few days afterwards. Also, I'm a big fan of American Dad, and they always do the least Christmassy things possible for Christmas. So let's get started. So in Parasite Eve, you play as Aya Bray, a cop who has to stop this evil chick who has the power to melt down humans, only to discover that she herself is immune to it and has some of the same abilities as well. That's the short version, and believe me, you better have passed science class in high school, because if you didn't, you're not going to understand anything in this game. The story itself isn't bad, but I think it uses its trump card a little early on, and as a result it can start to drag at the end of the game. Which is surprising to say the least, since this game actually isn't very long either. Unless you go for the final ending, that is. There is a New Game Plus in this game, folks, and the main reason to do it is a little something known as the Chrysler Building. 77 floors, each floor is randomized, and you face a boss after every 10 floors, and can also save once at the end of the 10th floor. This is the true final test. And I'm not joking, holding the final ending at ransom behind an Uber dungeon is kind of stupid. Granted, this is better than, say, holding an ending behind Riddler puzzles, but this is just crazy. It's not like Aya isn't capable, because she is. This isn't a turn-based RPG. You can actually run around and dodge attacks, and mixing that with, well, this game's battle system, which is really based on your weapon's range stat, you can make this game really freaking easy. The only time you're really going to be challenged is when you're forced into fighting several monsters in really cramped corridors. But like I said, this game's battle system really is based on your weapon's range stat and what kind of gun you're using. The semi-auto rifle I'm using has really good range, and also, while it only fires one bullet, that one bullet hits like a freaking cannon. If you use something like an MP5, your range is going to suck, and your damage, while it says it's equal to my G3 or just around it, that damage is spread out on the number of bullets it fires, well, each time you pull the trigger. And while you can divvy up the bullets to different targets, I wouldn't recommend doing that. Just as a personal preference, I prefer the semi-auto long-range G3 so I can get some separation between me and the monsters and hit them at range. Your parasite powers are basically your spells in this game, and they have their own little mana bar that continually recharges when you're in battle. This can also, because of this game's miserable inventory screen, lead to you having to heal yourself just by leaving some miserable enemy alive and at low health while you just run around and heal. And this actually works pretty well, because you can just let your bar recharge after doing so. Wow, so basically you're just at max health and max mana. But like I said before, nothing in this game is really hard to kill. The biggest challenge is finding where you're supposed to go and trying to defeat this game's horrible 3D layouts. Yes, game, I would like to save, but you insist on A, having save points, and B, making it impossible to tell how far the thing is away from me. One area where the layouts do work, though, is when you go from like an overview shot of Aya and then go into a real tight shot behind her with like a tilted camera angle. And they really do work well in instilling a feeling of dread or confusion. And this works so much better here than in Final Fantasy VII, where you can count the polygons that make up Cloud, and you have Aya's much better rendered model. One big grievance with this game I have, though, is Aya's tank controls. Holy shit. And you have to move her with the D-pad while also holding a run button. Until you get to disc 2, and you can actually auto-run with an analog stick. You have no idea how relieving that is when you get to disc 2 and you all of a sudden can move with an analog stick. I don't know how this happened or why this happened, but being able to suddenly move with an analog stick is the greatest thing ever after dealing with this game's horrendous D-pad controls. And seriously, it will make you want to play the game all the way through just from the second disc, that second onwards. So in conclusion, Parasite Eve is definitely not a bad game, and between its battle system and fun customization can really be a fun romp. Especially when you can move with an analog stick. I don't know if I'm just a freaking idiot and didn't see the settings somewhere, maybe it's hidden in a menu, but if you can play this game with an analog joystick, oh my god, it is literally the greatest thing on earth. The biggest downfall is this game's story. The big bad taunts you at different times and begins to lose her effectiveness after you beat her in open combat a few times. And also, while this game is supposedly a horror title, the only thing remotely spooky at all is that certain cutscenes when animals transform into monsters. I definitely recommend giving this one a shot, and it just proves that when Square mixed things up a bit, that's when they truly shined. So thanks for watching and have a Merry Christmas, guys. I will see you next Christmas when I review probably like Silent Hill or something. Thanks for watching.